It's 3:15, and that means it's time for
The Real Deal with Bill McNeil.
That's right. Welcome once again to The Real Deal with Bill McNeil. I'm your host, Bill McNeil, and you're probably wondering exactly what is the real deal today.
Hey, good question.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. Yesterday we had This Week in Batman, where we talked about all the Batman issues. There was no news to talk about, so we thought. Apparently 10 minutes before we went to record, they dropped all the Batman Day for 2021 information that's coming out in September. And we missed it, Josh, so we're going to come back and talk about it today. There's a big development here. We got the very first Batman-related Webtoon comic. We got some other Batman-associated stuff coming out in September. Obviously, with me is the man from BatmanNews.com, the man behind PopByCulture.com. How you doing, Josh McDonald?
I'm doing well. I'm pissed that we keep recording and the news drops like right before or right after we record. So, I think we should just prepare for that.
I think that Abernathy guy at DC, the group editor, he's got it in for us. He knows what he's doing.
Apparently, I'm going to have a conversation with him. Be like,
Absolutely. Hey. You need to hop into his DMs and be like, listen, Buster.
I'm going to need you to send these announcements like an hour or two earlier than what you've been doing.
Yeah. Can you give us a heads up?
Yeah, come on.
we can push it back 15 minutes.
For sure. Jerk.
So
no, I'm kidding.
We do have those comics that we knew were going to be released on Batman Day. We'll get to those. But, the new stuff, the big one is this Webtoon comic is going to be Batman Wayne Family Adventures. It started yesterday. I know you've read the first three issues. We'll talk about
episodes,
that. Yeah. Basically, it's Duke Thomas the Signal moves into the Wayne Manor for an endless supply of adopted, fostered, and biological vigilante children to manage with Batman. And I don't know. It sounds like family hijinks with the Robins.
It's exactly what it is. But honestly, it's a shit ton of fun. Like I absolutely loved it.
So there's three episodes out so far. Do you have to have a subscription to Webtoon, or you just have to have a login?
So it looks like for the first 3 episodes, you don't need a subscription. You can just go there and read it. To get more than the first 3, you have to subscribe, but it's free. So I went ahead and subscribed, and I'll probably read the next 3 later today.
So there's 6 out already?
3 more dropped today or are dropping today. I'd have to double check.
And you said there are about 5 comic pages worth of material.
Yeah, so each little slide is like its own little panel. And I would say it probably ranges anywhere from like 3 to 5 pages of a regular comic book. So you just get a quick, short, brief story.
So what are your thoughts on this? Do they get the characterization right? Is it a good family comic book? Is it good hijinks? What stands out about this?
I would say that even though the writing has a slant to a younger audience, they definitely get the characters better than what we're getting from the mainstream writers at DC Comics right now. I feel like this is more in line with the characters' personalities. It's fun, but just who these characters are at their core like really shines through. And for me as a fan of the characters, I loved that aspect of it.
Has Red Hood threatened to kill any of his brothers or sisters yet?
He hasn't threatened to kill anyone yet. I don't know if we're going to. I mean, Damian kind of makes a pseudo threat in there. But Jason definitely tries to push off this, like, no, I'm the hard ass type personality. And he's
Raphael.
Yeah, he keeps getting called out for it. So it is fitting in that respect.
We've got Dick Grayson.
Yep.
Jason Todd. I'm imagining we got Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, Damian, and Duke Thomas.
And Batman and hey, guess what? Alfred's back, or Alfred's here. So that already makes it better. And he's got that total like lovable Alfred vibe going on. Did you say Cassandra?
I did not say Cassandra.
Cassandra's there as well. So.
Oh, nice. So it sounds like a pretty good team. Is it, are they going out and fighting superheroes, or is this like going to school kind of hijinks?
It's not.
Villains.
We haven't had any villains yet. The first issue, the first 3 issues were kind of like introductions in a way. So for the first one, you have Duke moving in, and Damian gives him a tour of the mansion. So that should tell you enough right there. But Damian's pretty much lying about all the dangerous stuff in the mansion. He's like, don't come in here or this will shoot you, or don't come in here or you'll get electrocuted. Like it's a total Damian Wayne, he's a little shit type of thing to do. But there's a joke at the end where he's like, oh, and like, be careful when leaving the grounds because we have all of our defenses set up. So yeah, you'll definitely die if you do that. And then Duke's like, man, I almost believed all that stuff for a second. And then Bruce is like, oh no, actually don't try to leave the grounds. You will get shot. So it's got that fun like vibe going. The second issue or episode is more so like they've all gone on a mission and they all came back without getting injured. So Alfred makes pastries and there's a little kind of cartoony battle with who's going to get the last cookie type thing. It's cute. And then the third one is Babs and her dad, Barbara, with Commissioner Gordon, and they're just having coffee and talking. And he's like, how was your day? And she's referring it to as a library, like, oh, I helped a kid read. And there's a funny joke with Damien. And then it's like, oh, I helped some other kids find something. And it's a funny joke with Tim and Steph while they're on a mission. Look, the best way to describe it is cute. If that's not your thing, don't read it. But if you liked the cuter elements of Super Sons, or even if you read Gotham Academy and you loved Maps Mitsuguchi, that character, that vibe is this whole series. So
it's more advanced than like Tiny Titans.
Oh, 100%. Like this is something that you can read with your kids, Wes, and they're going to enjoy it and laugh, and you're going to enjoy it as well.
All right, sounds pretty good. So it feels like it's got that turtle dynamic.
Yeah,
we've got Alfred as Splinter, Dick Grayson is Leonardo, Jason Todd is Raphael. We'll have, I'm imagining, Tim Drake is Donatello the nerd, and then Damien is Michelangelo the hijinkster with a bit more edge to him.
Sure, yeah, you get that to a degree. It's still very much the Bat family.
I always love brother dynamics, but I grew up with, all my brothers, and we used to beat the crap out of each other.
Same.
It was fun for me. So that sounds like it's right up my alley, and my 6-year-old will absolutely fall in love with that stuff. He is a prolific reader right now, so I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Those were not the only announcements we have. This is something I'm not all that familiar with. Hopefully, Josh, you're more in the know on this one. I have done esports in the past. I was a semi-competitive Clash of Clans player there for a couple of years. But this is not Clash of Clans. This is something to do with FaZe Clan. On September 24th, there will be a limited edition comic book created with esports digital lifestyle and media platform FaZe Clan, and it will team Batman with superhero versions of FaZe Clan members FaZe Banks, FaZe Apex, FaZe Temper, FaZe Rain, FaZe Adapt, FaZe Rug, and FaZe Blaze. It's going to be written by Josh Trujillo, illustrated by Scott Eaton, with the cover by Tyler Kirkham. They've certainly put some well-known, established comic creators on this thing, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know what FaZe Clan is. Do they play multiple games? Or are they like League of Legends or something?
I'm not too familiar with them either. I started trying to look them up. I mainly looked them up because I wasn't sure if they pronounce their name FaZe or FaZe, and it is FaZe because they spell it capital F, lowercase a, capital Z, lowercase e. From what I can tell, they're just like influencers that have come together and do different social media type, lifestyle type stuff for esports.
They're more like announcers or something. They're not the guys playing.
I don't think they're the guys playing. All the videos and stuff that I saw were them like behind the scenes and just kind of talking about stuff. So I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm used to being told I'm wrong and I'm an idiot, so I'll take it. But
obviously this isn't geared towards you or I, because we're a little bit out of the know. But I think it's cool. Hey, go out there and reach out to some of these people. Obviously, this is something that I imagine Daniel Cherry III, who came into DC Comics as the new general manager with an extensive background in esports and gaming, coming over from Blizzard, probably set this up. I imagine he knows who FaZe Clan are, had a relationship, and knows the type of influencers they are. Are people willing to go out there and buy a Batman comic and hopefully be enticed to step over to their comic shop and buy more Batman comics? I'm not certain, but it's outside the box. It's something different.
It's definitely outside the box. It feels like the idea here is that there are probably people that watch FaZe Clan that like superheroes in context of movies, that they'll probably like pique an interest of and might just grab this little comic as a like novelty type thing. But typically if you grab a comic, you end up flipping through it or reading it. And if you have quality people that are doing this book, it might be a good enough story or fun enough story that it might entice them to like, okay, I'll check this out. I'll check that out and pick up some classic Batman stories.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, there's a fan that's picking up the comic book because they're a fan of FaZe Rain. They want to see what his superpower is. How is he going to use it?
Right.
Is he on Batman's side? Absolutely, they're going to read it just to see what they do.
For sure.
So while I'm not completely aware what this is all about, I say thumbs up. Good idea. Do something.
Agreed. I don't think it hurts by any means.
Nah. And good job putting a good artist and certainly a very good cover artist on the book. So that was pretty smart. They're also going to have some limited edition Batman and FaZe Clan merchandise like esports jersey, tees, hoodies, and more. So yeah, get some merch out there. Get people excited. Maybe you can get you a Batman jersey with your favorite FaZe Clan member. For
sure. I mean, look, if I can get a little Nightwing jersey, I'm down.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
You need a little Nightwing jersey.
That's right. I'm going to look schmexy.
So we've already talked about this. They're going to have reprint editions of Batman Fortnite 0 Point. I believe Batman Day is September 28th, correct?
September 18th. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
September 18th. So a little bit over a week from now, there's going to be a reprint of 0 Point #1, which is the big crossover with Fortnite. And they're also going to have a Batman Day edition of the first issue of Batman Nightwatch Back Tech, which is a limited edition Bat Tech app like crossover thing. I think these are pretty smart. I don't think you're going to get all the skins and everything that you would have gotten in Batman Fortnite 0 Point #1, which is what brought most people to the dance. Obviously you got in-game skins that were selling for over $20 for basically $5 cover price on the comic book. But it's not the worst Batman comic I've ever read in the world. And if you like Fortnite, from what I'm told, it is a very good representation of Fortnite gameplay and what it would be like to be Batman inside of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a gamer, but we covered the book on Batman News, and there are people that had mixed feelings about the story itself. But same thing, the people that played Fortnite that came and commented, they seem to have really enjoyed it and liked the atmosphere of the book itself. And hey, it's Christos Gage, so he's actually a quality writer, and saves Dan Slott's ass half the time.
Absolutely. And if you're a Fortnite fan and you're checking this part out, you're like, who's Christos Gage? He is the man. He and his wife wrote the first season of Daredevil on Netflix. You might know him from there.
Yeah.
So he certainly gets storytelling in comic book characters. We're also getting, I hope this ties in, like this information is actually in Batman Fortnite 0 Point. Maybe there's a link, because the entire month of September, DC's digital platform, DC Universe Infinite, are going to feature high-profile collections of Batman, including The Long Halloween, Joker War, Three Jokers, Court of Owls, Last Night on Earth, Batman Year 1 Parts 1 through 4, and Under the Red Hood.
Yep.
Give them 30 days.
Yeah.
You go in there and you read Batman Under the Red Hood, you're coming back for more.
Oh, agreed. I think if you read most of those books, you're going to want to come back for more, because they're all excellent books.
Except for Joker War, but hey.
Well, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
If you're a new Batman reader, and you've never read comic books, Joker War might blow your mind, because the art is so amazing. Well, and you've probably never seen these things happen to Batman. If you've been reading a while, it's kind of retread. But
true. That's a good point. Possibly. I'm still going to say I don't recommend pick something else.
I'm with you. Read The Long Halloween. Now that's a good one.
Yeah, start with like your Batman Year 1, do your Long Halloween, get those good like nostalgic books in that are just quality and kind of give you a good idea of Batman at his core. When I was reading it, the press release, I thought the same thing as you. I was hoping that they will give some type of 30 days free. I think they already do 7 days free, but make it 30 days. Really try to get people in there to read comics and get them hooked, because I think that's the key.
Open up the free comic or the $1 comic. Big splash page.
Yep.
30-day free trial. Here's
100.
your code. Make it feel like you gave them something rather than, hey, we're giving it to everybody. You know what I mean? Go into your code and get it.
And it's like good value too, it's something to walk away with, even if you don't like comics, or maybe you don't think you like comics, but you're like, well, it's free, I'll check it out. If you read some of those books, you're going to get hooked easily.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dark Knight Returns might not be the best entryway drug to Batman, but Year 1, Long Halloween, I would do Under the Red Hood after those, personally. Yeah. But those are the comic books that you give people, or a Hush. Those are the comic books you give to new readers to really get them hooked, because they have great art and they have fantastic stories about a character most people kind of understand just to begin with.
Agreed.
Yeah. And the last thing we got this big project called Batman the World. I believe it's 14 stories by 14 sets of international writers. I think Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo are representing the U.S. We know it's like a 184-page like coffee table book. It looks very, very collectible. It's meant to be it's meant to be read probably once, but it's supposed to be displayed. It looks very high quality. They're also going to be doing a free sampler, which I believe will include the Brian Azzarello, Lee Bermejo story with some samplers of the rest of the material that's in Batman the World. That one's coming out on September 14th. It's also coming out in international markets where these stories are coming from. This is another bold, adventurous idea to see if they can get some international growth. I have a feeling that this Webtoon idea is going to be more successful. But this is another way, get out there, do something different. I think this could be pretty cool. And they did get some creative teams that I definitely hold in high esteem.
Yeah, it looks like they really tried to pull quality people, and they're trying to make a quality book. They are trying to reach out to these global markets, and you can tell they're trying to make sure they put their best foot forward. So I applaud DC on that. I think this is a good approach. I think another way to get global markets curious about something is to have someone represented from their own country. So they're doing that as well. But I'm just hoping that the stories that come through and the art is good and strong. And, it really puts, Batman on a high and it's executed as well as possible. So people will want to then seek out other means. And especially if they're using publishers to print these in other countries, that it'll create an interest to, go ahead and license other books to have printed and published in their countries as well.
The only way not the only way, one of the weird things that could go with this is like maybe you have we're going to say a Hungarian, comic book team. I've never read a Hungarian comic book. Let's say that their presentation of comics is just a little bit different. The art's a little bit more abstract than you would get in Western comic books. I hope they don't veer so much off of what a consumer is going to find when they go back to the stuff that was the original materials that have all the Batman materials, that where, you think you're getting this and you get over there and it kind of feels disappointing. You hope there's some type of synergy between the two.
Yeah, I think that there would have been some type of synergy. I think I'm hoping DC's smart enough that if there is enough of a difference, it's going to be more kind of like, hey, we want to see the influence of what you guys do, not necessarily completely what you do. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's just more of a marriage. But yeah, I would expect that. And then they could discover something that, hey, these guys do comics or some type of, sequential art storytelling type thing that is different than ours, that is just amazing. Like, go for it. So I'm talking about other countries, finding new things. Hey, we might discover new things, especially new talent, man. Like if we can get new talent in, I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, I'm all for Marvel and DC going out there and reaching out and actually producing comic books of their characters for specific regions again. They've kind of gone away from that, but I think that was a smart idea back in the day when they had a bit larger footprint, larger budgets for stuff like that. One thing people do need to keep in mind with all this, Josh, is that the Batman Fortnite 0.1 reprint, the Batman Nightwatch Bat Tech issue that's coming out on Batman Day, as well as Batman the World, like the sampler, those are underprinted. Whatever was ordered, they are allocated because there was not enough paper supply, I guess, to meet the demand of the printing itself. So there's gonna be less of those than you would expect on a normal Batman Day. If you really want the comic book, reach out to your local comic shop, see if you can get it on a pull list. If you're not able to do that, you might need to get in there early if you want to get your $1 reprints on some of these things and get them for Batman Day, because there's going to be less of them than people expect.
Yep. And hey, if you try to reach out to your comic shop and ask them to hold something for you and they don't, or they say they can't, if you don't have a pull list with them, offer to start a pull list and then see if they'll hold it, because there's a good chance they will do that for you then.
Absolutely. So, Josh, I want to say thank you very much. This is all exciting stuff. The most exciting thing is this Webtoon series, Batman Wayne Family Adventures. It sounds like it's a winner, according to one of the critics from BatmanNews.com. Do you have any final words on this? I think it's all pretty much exciting.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. It's lighthearted fun, and sometimes a good little dose of that doesn't hurt. So if you don't mind something other than grimdark, go check it out.